Hello, brains. This one's just super fun. This is how to have a great time at a social event. Wrong answers only. Really, I wanted to do a video about how to actually have a good time at a social event because social events can be so tricky for people with ADHD for a number of reasons that I thought it would be cool to have some advice as to how to actually enjoy them, because I think a lot of us don't enjoy them so much as we endure them. If you're enduring something, if you're gritting and bearing it, how often are you going to want to do it? Before we get into how to actually have a good time at a social event, let's talk about how to not. My team asked for your comments and you delivered. I am about to read through them for the very first time. Don't bring anything with you and just wing it. I've done that before, not intentionally though, more of I forgot to read the invite until I was leaving for the event, and that's when I found out I was supposed to be bringing something with me. There are so many times in my life that I've showed up to something unprepared that it makes me really anxious. I think probably a lot of these are going to be about things that make you more anxious at a social event. Announce yourself when you enter the event to make sure everyone sees you. It's giving me anxiety just thinking about it. I was the kid that brought a book to every party growing up because I wanted to be able to escape if I needed to. So the idea of announcing myself as soon as I entered so that everybody sees me. Yeah, that's speaking to the social anxiety. Don't ask questions when talking to people. Okay, two things. One, true. If you don't ask questions when you're talking to people, that's a great way to not have a good time at a social event because the conversation is going to die pretty quickly and or that person's not going to want to talk to you anymore. But a lot of people in our community struggle with asking questions, especially in social situations, especially when they don't know what to ask. My partner's ADHD and we talk about this all the time. I'm like, hey, just ask me questions as if it's not a big deal. And he's like, I don't know what to ask. So well, yes, this is true. It's not necessarily intentional. Sometimes a lot of people in our community just don't know what to ask. If something says something you don't agree with, make sure to unintentionally get way too excited and passionate and yell at them why they're wrong. I feel like there's a story behind this one. I feel like this has actually happened. Spend too much time picking out an outfit and show up late mismatched. I feel like I've done that. The one thing that's worse to me than being unprepared and not having what I need, including a matching outfit, is being late and unprepared. I'm like, one or the other, forgetting it was today and scrambling to get there on time. Eventually, I will start checking my calendar the night before. Forget about it entirely. I'm seeing some themes here. There is, of course, the not actually going to the thing either because you forgot about it. Time management is challenging for those of us with ADHD for a number of reasons. One is just time blindness. Like we often overcommit and might double book ourselves or not actually have time to go do the thing that we said we were going to do because we overcommitted. We overbooked ourselves because we didn't realize how long things were actually going to take us. But another one is just organizing information, getting stuff out of our brain and then remembering to check it. I have a calendar and I use my calendar. I regularly put things on my calendar because I know if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. Do I always remember to check my calendar? Historically, no. Thankfully, now I have Skylight, which makes it more likely that I will check my calendar because it is on my counter where I eat breakfast. So as I'm making breakfast, I'm like, oh, right, a calendar that is a thing that exists. I should look at it. This is what I'm talking about, by the way. This is my new Skylight calendar too. Skylight is the sponsor of this video. They're a longtime sponsor of this channel because I really like their product. It's an all-in-one family calendar now with magnetic snap frames, so you can take it off easily, swap it out, easily put it back on, which is great because I have a toddler. It's fantastic because it acts as a family hub that is also digital. So I don't have to be at my family hub to update the family hub, which is great because I'm not going to remember to do that most of the time. Hi, I have ADHD. I can update routines, chores, anything that I need to update right from the app. But the really nice thing is because this thing lives in my kitchen, it is a physical reminder to check it, not just for me, but also for my family. My daughter even has chores now. She is 2 years old. But she can already tap and mark off that she has fed the dog. One of the biggest ADHD-friendly strategies is externalize things. Get things out of your brain. Get them out of your brain somewhere you can see it. And by having a family hub, it's somewhere where everybody can see it. My partner and I have a rule that if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. So we've got lots of different calendars. It can be hard to keep track, but this is like our one shared family hub calendar. So we're like, if it's not on the Skylight, it does not exist, which is great because if everybody can see this calendar, probably at least somebody is going to be like, hey, did you know we have a birthday party on Saturday? We're less likely to miss our social events. because of this calendar. You can set up tasks, you can create rewards, which is often something that's necessary for us with ADHD. In tasks, they just did this. There's now an up for grabs. This is amazing because each of us have our own list of tasks and chores and stuff, but then there's up for grabs. So if somebody has the extra bandwidth, the extra energy, and we want to like help each other out, work together as a family, cool, put clean dishes away. You can also now let people know what exactly the chores entail. So even for Feed Chloe, let's say my kid goes to Feed Chloe on a day where I'm not here to help her, my partner needs to, 1 cup of dry food. That's what we mean by Feed Chloe. So now he knows how to help her. As a result of using the Skylight calendar, it feels like my family is working together as a team. And are we still going to drop balls? Yeah. There's a lot of neurodivergence in our household, but we're less likely to. And when it happens, the blame doesn't fall on any one person. There's less resentment. There's more teamwork. There's more ability to work together to make sure that whatever is on our agenda is what's actually happening. And everybody feels a little bit more like they have a heads up in advance. If you'd like to boost teamwork within your own family and try out the Skylight calendar too, you can get $40 off either the 15-inch or the 27-inch calendar max using my code HOWTO40. The discount is only if you're in the US, but the Skylight is available globally, so you can get it elsewhere in the world as well. All right, now let's go back to more ways to have a great time at a social event. Wrong answers only. Stand in the corner and have a continuous conversation with people that walk by and then get offended when they don't answer. Oh my God. Some of these are so real though. How many times have I gone up to somebody and just started info dumping at them without checking to see if they were in a position to actually listen? More with my partner and close friends than random strangers, but I'm sure I've done it to strangers. Ignore your needs and crash for a week afterward. Yeah. I have a video about this. Check that out. In a social event is when I am, and probably you are as well, more likely to miss or neglect my own needs. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of other people there. And if you are also a people pleaser, there's a lot of other people to make happy. And so it's really easy to neglect yourself. Aggressive eye contact / staring at forehead. Either like making no eye contact or aggressive eye contact. Getting eye contact right is also a thing that definitely the autistic community struggles with. A lot of us do as well. Have you seen this 20-minute long YouTube video? You'll love it. Yeah, some of the worst times that I've had at parties have been when I want to show somebody something that I thought was funny. I thought it was funny, but then there's something about time. It just expands. It can be 90 seconds long. And I'm sitting there going, oh no, this is terrible. And they're bored. And this is so long and forever taking. And I forgot about this long, boring part in the middle. And yeah, I've never tried showing somebody a 20-minute video, but honestly, like showing people videos at all in the middle of a party, there's something really uncomfortable about it. I feel like I'm wasting their time. That might be something I need to work on in therapy. The best way to have fun at a social event is to stay home in your comfy clothes. There is some reality to that. There's something about going to a social event that is really uncomfortable for people with ADHD. First of all, we're having to wear clothes that might not be that comfortable. Thankfully, that's changing. I feel like it's getting more and more socially acceptable to show up in things that are comfortable, but growing up socialized female, like social events often involved like tight, pinchy shoes and uncomfortable materials in a dress, and it is uncomfortable physically. It's uncomfortable from a social anxiety perspective. It's uncomfortable because of the uncertainty of I don't know who else is going to be there. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know how long it's going to be. I don't know when I'm going to get food. When you stay home, you are in the comfort of a familiar environment, your comfy clothes. You're not experiencing the social discomfort of I have to talk to people and maybe deal with rejection. So that rejection sensitivity isn't a thing. So this is actually a profound comment because what it speaks to is that it is inherently uncomfortable or less comfortable to go to a social event than it is to stay home. We'll talk about this in the next video, how to actually have a great time at a social event. But just to give you a sneak peek into it, there are things that we can do to make it so we will go to the social event, even though it's less comfortable to do that. It is definitely, decidedly more comfortable to stay home for most of us. So I just want to normalize that. As you're thinking through stuff, make sure to stare blankly so that it appears you are peering through the other person's soul. Basically, be deliberately awkward. Got it. I have been told I'm a little intense. If I'm talking to somebody, I am genuinely curious and I want to ask them questions. And also, because of what I do for a living, it's very normal for me to talk about like trauma. I will ask somebody about their childhood trauma in the middle of a party and forget that that's not like exactly fun conversation. Just start screaming. Emotion dysregulation is really common with ADHD, and emotional impulsivity. So a lot of these things, I mean, they're funny because like, yeah, obviously this is not like what one should do at a social event, but they're all things that we might actually do. It's silly because it's ridiculous in that it's kind of an extreme version of it, but a lot of these are things that we do. Explains a lot of why I struggled at social events growing up. Interrupt the conversation to identify a random thing nobody else notices or frankly cares to notice. Interrupt the conversation to identify the flamenco cover of a pop song that's playing that nobody else is paying attention to. Okay, I'm so guilty of this. Not that specifically, but just in the middle of a conversation, something will pop into my head and I'll just be like, hey, what are they? And it has nothing to do with the flow of conversation. No, I am learning that there are inside thoughts. Like, you don't have to say everything that pops into your head. Interrupt people's stories to blurt out only the most tangentially related things they remind you of. Bonus points if their appearance reminds you instead of what they're saying. Oh, these are all so relatable. By the way, a lot of people think that it's rude when we interrupt. I actually educate people. It's not about being rude. It's that we're excited. We want to participate in the conversation. We have something to say, and so we'll interrupt. But also because we're afraid that we're going to forget the thing. Okay, I have a couple of friends who have different tips. So one is if there's something that you want to say, you do this. And then if there's something else you realize you want to say, you tie it to this finger, and then another thing, you tie it to this finger. Eventually, like you're holding, 4 things or whatever, and the other person's like, oh, you have a lot to say. I should let you talk. But also like by tying one to each finger, it's like chunking it, chunks it to a working memory slot, and you're able to hold it a little bit better. Danny Donovan does this. And it works so well because as soon as she does this, we know that she's probably not listening to a whole lot of what we're saying because she's trying to remember what she wants to say. So it's a sign to us to like wrap it up and let her talk. And then I've started using it with her as well. Like when she's talking and I have something I want to say, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll talk more about this next video. Only talk to whatever pets are available. And when anyone asks you about the party, you can say you met new friends. See, I feel like that's almost an adaptive coping mechanism. There are times I probably have the social energy to hang out with the pets, but not the people. Stand in a semi-open space and don't do anything. Look around, make eye contact with the same people repeatedly, and continue to do nothing. I feel sad for my younger self. I was this person. Sometimes I still am. Find the first person who looks at you and just start info dumping whatever your latest obsession is. When they walk away, turn to the next person and just pick up where you left. I like that. You don't even start over. You're just like, I was info dumping about this and that person walked away. Now I will find a new victim. Along those same lines, find the nearest dog or cat or horse or goat or snake and begin to info dump to them about your latest hyperfixation. Okay, if I was at a party and everybody was behaving somewhat normal party behavior and I saw somebody over in the corner talking to the dog and info dumping to the dog about their latest hyperfocus, I would probably go hang out with that person. I think a lot of us in this community are more comfortable with animals for a few reasons. One, there's no judgment. That's a big one. Doesn't matter what I've done that day or like how well I did at work or how awkward I am socially. Like my dog loves me and accepts me. Animals are easier. There's less demand. All my dog wants from me is like pets and treats. Humans want a lot more things and it's more complicated. I also saw a lot of info dumping. It's a real thing in this community. It is what it sounds like. It's all of the information that you know about a topic, you just start dumping it at somebody without it being a reciprocal conversation. So it's monologuing, basically. Like, hi, oh, you mentioned hiking? Here's everything I know about hiking. Hey, I'm so excited that you mentioned something that I actually care about, that I'm just going to tell you everything that I know about it. And it's really common in this community. It's also, in fairness, how a lot of us bond. We'll just info dump at each other. But info dumping at a complete stranger is trickier. Caroline McGuire, who just came out with a book, well, you can see an episode that we did about that here. Caroline McGuire has some cool strategies about how to info dump in a way that will be more well received. So rather than just going, oh yeah, we just shouldn't info dump, transition into the info dump. Be like, you know what that reminds me of? And then if they're like, oh, then you have permission. Now you can info dump, as opposed to they mentioned their trip to Europe and now you're just talking about your trip to Europe. That's not going to be as well received, right? This is the last thing I'll say. Going and doing it badly, I am going to be a little bit socially awkward. I am going to be a little bit weird. I am going to info dump, and just breaking the seal, not the worst idea in the world. Sometimes going and like screwing it up in small little ways can make it so you realize like nothing terrible happens. As Caroline McGuire puts it, it's not usually the awkward things that we do at these social events that is what makes us not have friends. It might be like the 15 anxious text messages afterward that we send that gets in our way. It's okay to go to a social event and be a little weird. Like some of these, I was like, I would go talk to this person. They sound interesting. So yeah, while these are ways to not enjoy a social event, I think that some of them are a little bit inevitable for us, and maybe that's okay. Like it's okay to info dump sometimes. It's okay to be awkward and interrupt and all of the things that we are probably naturally going to do. It's okay to be neurodivergent in a social situation. There's a meme that I like. You will be too much for some people. Those are not your people. So yeah, this one was mostly just for fun, out of curiosity. Like, what are some ways to enjoy your time at a social event, but wrong answers only? Next week, I'll talk about how to actually have a great time at a social event. Thank you to our brain advocates and all our Patreon brains for supporting the work that we do on this channel and letting us get playful and a little fun sometimes. A lot of times. If anybody would like a place to be social with other neurodivergent brains, our Discord is a great place to do it. You can join us at patreon.com/howtoadhd. Any of the tiers has access to that Discord, and it's a great place to connect. It's also a great place to come and be anxious before a social event and get support. So yeah, check it out. Thank you so much for watching. If you have other ways to have a great time at a social event, but wrong answers only, please drop it in the comments below. I look forward to reading lots more. Like, subscribe, click all the things, and I will see you next video. Bye, brains.